The Mike Wagner Show is powered by Sonic Web Studios. If you're looking to start or upgrade your online presence, visit www.sonicwebstudios.com for all of your online needs. Sonic Web Studios specializes in custom web design, app development, social networking, search engine optimization, domain registration, email marketing, online stores, and more. Since our birth, we have been designing and developing immaculate websites and providing web solutions which are a cut above the rest. As a leading web designing enterprise, we have a team of extremely talented web designers who are well-focused and have the experience of working on multiple web developing platforms such as PHP, Magento, custom WordPress, and more. Sonic Web Studios has been helping businesses of all kinds, whether big, small, established, or startup, impress their audiences with exemplary web solutions. We don't just create beautiful and functional websites. We give you a complete online solution with the main goal of enhancing your yearly revenues. We aim to give your business the online exposure and brand acknowledgement that will help you in achieving increased conversions leading to profitable sales. Call 1-800-303-3960 or visit us online at www.sonicwebstudios.com to get started today. Mention the Mike Wagner Show and get 20% off your project. Sonic Web Studios. Take your image to the next level.
It's now time for the Mike Wagner Show, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. The Mike Wagner Show can be heard on Spreaker, Spotify, iHeartRadio, YouTube, iTunes, Anchor FM, Radio Public, and the MikeWagnerShow.com. Mike brings you great guests and interesting people from all across the globe. So sit back, relax, and enjoy another great episode of the Mike Wagner Show.
Hey everybody, it's Mike from the Mike Wagner Show, powered by Sonic Web Studios, online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. Look at a professional website without breaking. Sonic Web Studios is the answer. Sonic Web Studios offers fast and affordable custom websites. Call today, 1-800-303-3960, 1-800-303-3960, or email to support@sonicwebstudios.com. Mention the Mike Wagner Show, get 20% off your first project. Sonic Web Studios, take your image to the next level. Also, the Mike Wagner Show can be heard on Facebook page, facebook.com/the Mike Wagner Show. You can download Facebook, SoundCloud, Spreaker, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. Also on FM, Radio Public, iTunes, Google Play, over podcast platforms, including Amazon and Audible. Take the Mike Wagner Show with you on any mobile device. Subscribe to the Mike Wagner Show on the YouTube channel, and follow the Mike Wagner Show on Instagram and Twitter today. We're here with a wonderful actor who's from Ohio. He's a retired Army helicopter pilot, now a life pilot. He served in the Army for 23 years, serving in Iraq and Afghanistan. He's been in a number of features: in Enigma, Crisis in the Valley, Bruce Willis Project, Acts of Violence, also YouTube sci-fi series called Cold Blooded. And he's got some wonderful experience, and he's here talking for it. Well, live, ladies and gentlemen, from the Press Studio somewhere in Ohio, ladies and gentlemen, actor and Army helicopter pilot, Steven Hamm. Steve, good evening. Joining us today.
Good evening, Mike. Thanks for having me on the show.
Well, it's great to have you on board, too. So you've been a retired Army helicopter pilot, now a life flight pilot. You served in the Army for 23 years, serving in Iraq and Afghanistan. And you also have been an actor for quite some time. You appear in Enigma, Crisis in the Valley, Acts of Violence. It's a project that's run by Bruce Willis. You also been in a YouTube sci-fi series called Cold Blooded, and a lot more. And you just have a lot going on. You have a great story. And before we get into all that, tell us how you first got started, Steve.
So with the acting thing was about 6 months before I retired from the service. Just had an idea just to, try the acting thing. I don't know where it came from. It just came across my mind. So I found an acting workshop in the Nashville area when I was still living in Tennessee. Did a weekend workshop with cold reads. And just being on stage and doing those cold reads just felt very liberating and exhilarating. So I said, I want to pursue this after I get out. So once I moved to Ohio and got established, I found an agency, got representation, and been doing it ever since. So it's been about 7 years now.
That's amazing. What was that one moment that precisely influenced you into what you're doing today? So what was that one aha moment that says, this is what I'm going to do? Even if it's before in the Army or so.
I guess what exactly are you talking about? What for the acting part you're talking about, or?
Yeah, for acting, yes.
It was have to be the cold read workshop when I was doing those scenes. That was kind of, I guess, my aha moment, that something that I definitely want to pursue, as much as I could. And once you get started on there, you have to realize that it's a marathon, not a sprint. So, there's a lot of investment to make, time and money, initially when you start out. So, but, if you're committed to it and put a lot of work toward it, and you're determined and you're disciplined, then, good things will come from it.
Mm-hmm. And who are some of your favorite actors and movie stars and TV shows, movies growing up?
Growing up, it was, of course, loved the Rocky films. I loved, a lot of action and horror films growing up. So, but to this day, my favorite, for male actors would be like Denzel Washington and Keanu Reeves. I love the Equalizer, and then the John Wick series are really good to watch. I like those. And as far as the any female actresses, we're talking, like probably Angelina Jolie, and a bunch of the other well-known, established actresses that would be just great to work with.
Mm-hmm. And how about some of your favorite TV shows growing up, as well as your favorite movies? This goes back to the 80s roots. So there was a show called The Fall Guy with Lee Majors. I enjoyed watching that. There was, of course, Knight Rider with David Hasselhoff. I always enjoyed that. Everyone loved the car. I love cars, I'll tell you that. So
yeah, obviously Dukes of Hazzard was a good show to watch. So all those good classic 80s TV shows, I was into, whether there was, just good drama or some, the cop shows as well, of course, Law & Order's been around forever, so I've always been a fan of that.
Okay. And also, we'll talk about your Army career in just a minute, but first, listen to The Mike Wagner Show at themikewagnershow.com, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. Looking at a professional website without breaking your budget? Sonic Web Studios is the answer. Sonic Web Studios offers fast, affordable custom web designs that blow the competition away. Call today, 1-800-303-3960. That's 1-800-303-3960. Or email to support@sonicwebstudios.com. Mention the Mike Wagner Show. Get 20% off your first project. Sonic Web Studios. Take your image to the next level. Also, the Mike Wagner Show can be heard on themikewagnershow.com. You can check our Facebook page at facebook.com/The Mike Wagner Show. You can download and listen on Facebook, SoundCloud, Spreaker, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. Also on Anchor FM, Radio Public, iTunes, Google Play. Also on Amazon, Audible, and over 25 podcast platforms. Take the Mike Wagner Show with you on any mobile device. Subscribe to the Mike Wagner Show on the YouTube channel, and follow the Mike Wagner Show on Instagram and Twitter today. We're here with actor and retired Army helicopter pilot Steven Hamm here on the Mike Wagner Show. He's now a life flight pilot and served in the Army for 23 years, served in Iraq and Afghanistan. And tell us some more about how you got first started in the Army.
Well, so after graduating from high school, joined up and initially as a helicopter mechanic. I did that for about 8 years, and then being around pilots all the time, you get the itch to try to fly or want to fly. So fortunately, the Army had a flight program, so I applied, was selected, and I've been flying since 1999. And I flew a armed reconnaissance aircraft, so my job was to go out and do scouting missions. And if we ever got caught in a small little firefight, obviously we were able to fire back. We had machine guns and rockets, and other kind of missiles attached to us. So it was a very dangerous job, but a very important job. So that was pretty much it. We did that for a while, and then I actually went and got specifically trained to become a maintenance test pilot as well. So once the aircraft was fixed, then I had to go out and test it out to make sure it performed, as is required. So a lot of special skills required to get that accomplished.
Mm-hmm. And what was that one moment that precisely influenced you to join the Army?
I think I've been groomed for the military pretty much my whole growing up life. My dad, he was in the Air Force for a few years, but I've always had, I guess, inkling for the military. I did high school ROTC, so in a sense, I guess I was just destined for it, basically. Okay.
You also served in the Iraq and Afghanistan also during that time in 23 years. And, basically you've been an Army helicopter pilot. Maybe you can just tell us about some of the things you did in Iraq and Afghanistan, and maybe some of your interesting moments. You can have some funny and some challenges, and just a little bit of stories. And what's it like from your perspective serving in Iraq and Afghanistan?
It's interesting for sure. It's a whole different world over there. I think, once you do experience life over there in a third world country, you do appreciate life back here in the United States for sure. We just did essentially reconnaissance missions out there, looking for illegal weapons caches and things of that nature. A lot of times we'll do convoy security. So when they have to do a convoy of vehicles from one place to another, we provide aerial security for that. And then sometimes we'd work with some special operations forces for capturing some high value targets that that kept mentioning on the news. So there was just a variety of stuff that we would participate in. So, but there was as far as some interesting times, we help when there's the soldiers are on the ground. If they're caught in a firefight, we help to suppress the enemy and to bring them to safety, or try to rescue some guys on the ground and do what we can. So the possibilities are really endless. It was a dangerous job, obviously, dealing with people shooting at you, the hot weather and dusty environments, and it's just a different world over there. So I'm glad I got to experience it, but I'm also glad to be back on American soil.
And of course, what was some of the things that you learned and taught, and you learned in the Army as well too? 23 years. What are some of the things that taught you, learned from it?
There's some core values that you take away from there. At least you should. There's loyalty and respect. There's of course discipline, but there's just a handful of other core values that leadership wise that you take away from there, so that when you do come out of the service, you're prepared to be a good future employee for a civilian market per se. Being on time, taking direction well, and just a compilation of other things. So I think once you have all those, you just become a better person, human being overall, and it just helps out everything. And I think what I've seen in today's society, it's just that there's more of a sense of the entitlement people have, and it's very frustrating to see that. It's all about me sometimes, and it's not about the me thing for me. So I like to help others out, and support them in their goals and dreams and stuff, and do what I can to help.
And also too, thoughts of getting into acting, or having an acting bug while you're in the Army, or were there opportunities to say maybe on stage or do a little something on the side?
No, unfortunately, I think once 9/11 kicked off, the landscape for the military changed drastically. It was more focused toward combat operations. So my last at least 9 years were just either training for deployment or being deployed. So there wasn't much chance to do anything like that. Now that I'm out and I have a flexible work schedule, I can definitely balance both acting and my day job. So.
And if you're offered a job as a helicopter pilot, like being in a film or acting as a helicopter pilot, would you take it?
Oh, definitely, absolutely, yeah. Any kind of military role I would take. That's pretty much definitely my wheelhouse, along with being a cop or detective, playing a dad or a husband role. Obviously, that I fit into that mold as well. So there's just a number of things that I could do.
And if you were asked to create a character, what would it be?
Create a character. Wow. That's a good question. I guess kind of depends. I guess one character would be your kind, charming, charismatic type of person, and the other one maybe would be a more adventurous, daring, and dangerous kind of person, I guess. So there's somewhere in those two realms and somewhere in between, I guess. I just couldn't pinpoint that.
Mm-hmm. And we'll talk about your films and experience as well, too. But first, listen to The Mike Wagner Show at themikewagnershow.com, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. Looking at a professional website without breaking your budget? Sonic Web Studios is the answer. Sonic Web Studios offers fast, affordable custom web designs at below the competition rate. Call today, 1-800-303-3960. That's 1-800-303-3960. Or email to support@sonicwebstudios.com. Mention Mike Wagner Show, get 20% off your first project. Sonic Web Studios, take your image to the next level. Also, The Mike Wagner Show can be heard on themikewagnershow.com, Facebook page at facebook.com/The Mike Wagner Show. You can download and listen on Facebook, SoundCloud, Spreaker, Spotify, iHeartRadio. Also on Anchor FM, Radio Public, iTunes, Google Play, over 25 podcast platforms. Take the Mike Wagner Show with you on any mobile device. Subscribe to the Mike Wagner Show on the YouTube channel, and follow the Mike Wagner Show on Instagram and Twitter today. We're here with actor and retired Army helicopter pilot, now lifelike pilot. Show movies in there like Enigma, Crisis in the Valley, and you also got into a project of Bruce Willis, Acts of Violence, and talk about those.
Well, the Crisis in the Valley, actually, independent project on the east side of Cleveland, and that was actually my first speaking role in the project, and that pretty much came about accidentally. I made a comment on a friend's Facebook post about her being in the movie, and the director saw my comment, saw my profile, and apparently he needed an actor to replace with, so he contacted me, and after a few discussions, I accepted a role and got that. So thanks to him for doing that. And that's David Walker from Walkstar Productions out there. So thanks to him. The Acts of Violence, that was one of those times where I initially got booked for being a background extra in that. And once I got to the set, the director decided that he wanted to add some more realism to the scene. So he had me and another fellow actress. Basically, we were walking some of the stars of the show outside of the house after a big shooting scene. So it was cool to experience, the big budget project on that scale and how all that works out. So it was nice. I'm toward the end of the movie, in case you guys haven't seen it yet. But it was just cool to be among in that kind of setting with those kind of big players.
And what's it like? Working with Bruce Willis, or being around Bruce Willis, or being a project involved with Bruce Willis? What's that like?
It's interesting. And I'll be honest that unfortunately I did not get to meet him that day. He had come in a few days beforehand and Ray did all his scenes. That's just the way it works with those guys. So the guy that was in the scene with me is actually his body double, unfortunately, who looks just like him. But so I wish I could say I did meet him, but I didn't. But to say that I was in a movie with him, that's it's pretty incredible. So not many people get to say that. So, but it was fun.
Mm-hmm. And you also are in this YouTube sci-fi series called Cold Blooded, and tell us more about that.
That's another independent project. I actually there is a casting site called Backstage that when I'm on, and saw the casting call, submitted myself for it. Got booked for the role as a father/scientist, Dr. Bradley, and it's kind of a kind of like a sci-fi type of genre, actually. The director writer had written 10 episodes, and after the first one, unfortunately, she wasn't able to continue it. So the first episode was filmed, and it is on YouTube. You just got to search for it. So it was like 45 minutes long of a series or of a show, but it was fun to do it. Fun to go to New York and film it. Obviously pre-COVID and everything, but I actually talked to her recently, and she said that she was really unaware of how much it was going to take to continue on with that. So it's kind of on the back burner for her, but it was still an honor to be part of it.
And if you ever pick a certain genre to play in a movie, like say with sci-fi, western, comedy, or anything like that, what genre would you be willing to?
God, I think my top favorite genre is like a crime mystery thriller, essentially. When you deal with let's say government secrets or CIA secrets and stuff like that, be my top. After that, it would probably be something in the horror genre, and then after that, probably a romantic comedy, perhaps.
I could see in something like that. And also, what do you have upcoming plans for 2021 for us?
I've got a few auditions that I need to work on right now to submit for. There's a couple of projects that are on the horizon as well. I can't really discuss them at this time, but it's with COVID being around, it's tough for the movie industry. They're starting to make some progress, as far as getting COVID testing stuff done and how to work around or work with that. So it's a slow progress, but I'm always putting myself out there and just hoping for the best. So but there's some stuff out there for me, and just going to see how it develops, because unfortunately, until you're actually on set, there's nothing certain.
Right, exactly. And where can we find your works, Enigma, Crisis in the Valley, Acts of Violence, and some of your other appearances? Where can we find your works at?
The Acts of Violence is on Hulu. You just got to search for that. You can probably find YouTube for the Common Creed, The Epidemic, which is another one I was in, another independent project. I played the mayor in that one. And that's based on the writer's personal story of back when Cleveland had the opioid epidemic. So that's a pretty interesting to watch as well. But YouTube would be the best place to search for that. And you can find all my other stuff on my website, www.steveham.org.
That is fantastic. Once again, actor and retired Army helicopter pilot Steven Hamm here on the Mike Wagner Show. A very big thank you for your time. You've been absolutely fantastic. And who do you consider biggest influence in your career, Steve?
Oh, God. I guess as far as for acting stuff right now, it would have to be, I think Denzel Washington is my biggest role model. I love his professionalism, and he just makes some great films. So he would top my list.
And then who do you consider biggest influence in your career?
Probably my he was just very influential in what he did, and he kept a very calm demeanor, and just loved loved life. So that's kind of what I try to do every day as well.
Mm-hmm. And that's very good advice. And what's the best advice you can give to anybody at this point?
Best advice I can give is that whatever dreams or goals you have, pursue them with all the vigor that you can. Don't let obstacles get in your way. Don't let naysayers get in your way. Keep negativity out and just focus on what you want to do. Discipline, and determination will get you everything. So if this is what you want to do, just do it. And eventually, don't the big picture. Just focus on the journey, and everything else will fall into place.
I think that's a very good idea. Once again, actor and retired helicopter pilot Steven Hamm here on the Mike Wagner Show. Steven, a very big thank you for your time. You've been absolutely fantastic. Look forward to having you again soon. And once again, tell us about your upcoming projects. What's your website? How do people contact you? Where can people check out your works at?
You can, like I said, my website, www.steveham.org. All my work is on there. Links to all my social media is on there. And everything I know about me is on the site. So that's the best place to go.
That sounds great. Once again, Steven, a very big thank you for your time. You've been absolutely great. Looking forward to having you again soon. Do us a favor, keep us up to date. Love you back on in 2021 and beyond. And please keep in touch. We'd love to have you back.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
The Mike Wagner Show is powered by Sonic Web Studios. If you're looking to start or upgrade your online presence, visit www.sonicwebstudios.com for all of your online needs. Sonic Web Studios specializes in custom web design, app development, social networking, search engine optimization, domain registration, email marketing, online stores, and more. Since our birth, we have been designing and developing immaculate websites and providing web solutions which are a cut above the rest. As a leading web designing enterprise, we have a team of extremely talented web designers who are well-focused and have the experience of working on multiple web developing platforms such as PHP, Magento, custom WordPress, and more. Sonic Web Studios has been helping businesses of all kinds, whether big, small, established, or startup, impress their audiences with exemplary web solutions. We don't just create beautiful and functional websites. We give you a complete online solution with the main goal of enhancing your yearly revenues. We aim to give your business the online exposure and brand acknowledgement that will help you in achieving increased conversions leading to profitable sales. Call 1-800-303-3960 or visit us online at www.sonicwebstudios.com to get started today. Mention the Mike Wagner Show and get 20% off your project. Sonic Web Studios. Take your image to the next level.
Thanks for listening to the Mike Wagner Show, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. The Mike Wagner Show can be heard on Spreaker, Spotify, iHeartRadio, iTunes, YouTube, Anchor FM, Radio Public, and themikewagnershow.com. Please support our program with your donations at themikewagnershow.com. Join us again next time for another great episode of The Mike Wagner Show.